when they receive your article. Some of the editors that I've worked with in the past have said that they would look at reference formatting to give an indication about how careful an author was. And if the references were carefully formatted, they felt that they could trust the results even more. Yeah, as I said, using reference management software is often much faster, will save you a lot of time. You can download references to whatever citation software you're using, usually through whichever search engine you're using. So here, this is an example from PubMed. So when you're preparing an article for publication, let's say you've completed your writing process, you've written your introduction, your method, results, discussion, conclusion. Get some feedback again, get your supervisor to read through it, get some of your co-authors to review it, some colleagues, get some feedback. When the final draft is ready, I recommend that you put it aside and do something else for a few days. So maybe take a holiday or get busy in the lab with something else. Then you go back to it and check it again for grammar, spelling errors, any syntax problems. Check that all of your arguments are logically structured. And when you're satisfied, it's recommended that you have your manuscript edited or proofread, either by colleagues with good English that you know of, or by editing services that can help you to prepare a very clear manuscript for submission. And my colleague Nicole is going to be talking a little bit later about how Enago can help you with that. So finally, check all of the journal submission requirements and submit. So when it comes to choosing a journal, although I said this should be one of the first things that you do, I'm going to talk about it here now. It's important that you assess your own research honestly. I know everybody wants to publish in Science, Nature, but not everybody is going to be able to succeed in publishing in those journals. You need to be honest about how significant your work is, who does it help? What is the novelty or the innovation of your research? So for medical researchers, I make the comparison between, say, common diseases like cancer, heart disease, and perhaps rarer tropical disorders that only affect a few people. The cancer, the heart disease, those are the more significant topics because they affect more people. And those kinds of research papers are likely to be more welcome in higher impact factor journals. When you're choosing a journal, think about whether the journal is going to accept the type of article that you've prepared. Think about whether they're focused on theoretical or applied research, whether they want clinical or laboratory results. And I'm going to talk a little bit about open access, subscription articles, and the publication fees associated with those. Open access is a good way to increase the exposure of your article. It basically means anybody can download and read your paper. There's no paywall. Subscription-based, however, to publish open access, you do generally need to pay the publisher. And it can be very expensive. Subscription-based journals, subscription publication, you don't need to pay to publish your article, but it will be locked behind a paywall, and you will lose the copyright to your content as well. So, other things to check. Check the word count, the number of figures and tables you can have, the number of references. Check the format for figures. Some journals have very specific requirements about how you need to prepare your figures, the file type, and the use of layers within those files. Check the spelling conventions. So, US spelling is probably the most commonly accepted across the general publishing field. But some journals prefer UK spelling. In particular, a lot of Nature journals, they request UK spelling. And Nature itself requires Oxford UK spelling, which is a little bit different again. So check what kind of spelling the journal uses. If the journal has a template, it's a good idea to submit your manuscript using the journal template. This can save the journal editor some time and can help speed up the publication process. So although you might need to spend some time putting your writing into the template, it could save time in terms of waiting for your manuscript to be prepared. Some other suggestions: when you're ready to submit, make sure you prepare either an email or a separate cover letter to the journal editor. This should be different to your abstract. It should be a summary of the work that you've done, but it needs to be in a different format. You need to explain why your manuscript is specifically suitable for that journal. That's information that you don't generally include in your abstract. So when you're writing your cover letter, it needs to be a little bit simpler and less technical than your abstract. Journal editors are not always experts in your specific field. Sometimes they might have come from a different background altogether. Some journals also require you to recommend some reviewers. And even if they don't ask you to recommend reviewers, if you do, it's always welcome, or it's often welcome, and it can save the journal editor time, which will again speed up the publication process. So your manuscript gets reviewed faster. When you're recommending reviewers, avoid choosing anybody who you have worked with in the past, or anybody at your institute, and try to choose an international range of people. So people working in different countries. Maybe choose 3 or 4 different reviewers from across the globe. So peer review itself, this process can take months. You want to do everything you can to speed it up. The reviewer will be reading your manuscript, and, well, first of all, the journal editor will be reading your manuscript, and he will make a decision whether to send it to peer reviewers or whether to give what's called a desk review, a desk rejection, where the journal editor himself says this is not suitable for our journal. If the journal editor thinks that your manuscript might be a good fit for his journal, or his or her journal, he will then look for some expert reviewers and then ask them to provide some feedback, some comments on your manuscript. This can take some time for the journal editor to find these people, so if you suggest somebody that helps the journal editor and can speed this up. The journal editor then receives the reviews about your article, and these guide his decision about your manuscript, whether to accept or reject. He will then write to you. Normally he will attach the reviewer comments and tell you what his decision is, whether to accept or reject your manuscript. So when you receive a letter from the journal editor after peer review, Make sure you read it carefully. If there are any revisions that you need to make, try to follow all of the suggestions that the reviewers have given you. You should write a point-by-point response letter where you respond to each of the reviewers' comments. If you do disagree with a reviewer, then you need to, sometimes reviewers are not always right. They might have misunderstood something. If this is the case, then you need to kind of give a very logical argument about why the reviewer is mistaken. Do be polite when you're perhaps arguing your case. Peer review can be frustrating, but do remember that peer reviewers are giving their time free of charge to help you improve your manuscript, to help improve science in their respective fields. So you have to respect that. When you receive the letter from the journal, it will normally have a deadline that you need to meet with the resubmission. When you consider whether you can actually meet this deadline or not, journal editors might be open to extending the deadline a little bit if you need some extra time, but if you think that the decisions are going to take a long time, it might be better to explain that to the journal editor and see perhaps take a different course of action. If you are rejected, then it's important that you don't give up. Rejection is very, very common, more common than publication. So think about how you're going to, what steps you're going to take. Are you going to choose a new journal? Where are you going to submit to? And use the reviewer's comments to improve your manuscript. Even if you're going to a different journal, do your best to make the manuscript better, and you'll have a much better chance of acceptance in the